2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That was
Ready? Let us call to order the Oakland County Board of Commissioners Planning and Building Committee meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. Could we have a roll call, please?
Crawford.
Here.
McGilvray.
Here.
Dwyer.
Here.
Berman.
Present.
Teets.
Here.
Quarles.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Whiteberg.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Could we have approval of the previous minutes? Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvray. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passed. Could we have approval of today's agenda? Moved by Commissioner Berman, supported by Commissioner Crawford. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That passed. Could we have any public comment? Anybody from the public wishing to make any comment? Seeing no public comment, we move on to today's regular agenda. Item number 1 is Water Resources Commissioner. Water and Sewer System Operations and Maintenance Agreement between the County of Oakland and the Chartered Township of Royal Oak. Could I have a motion, please? Commissioner Jackson and Commissioner supported by Commissioner Quarles. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kelsey Cook, Senior Attorney with the Water Resources Commissioner, and with me is Tim Prince, our Chief Manager and Engineer. So we're here today to present to you the operation and maintenance agreements between Oakland County and the Township of Royal Oak. This is for water and sewer. And then the second item on the agenda was for Oakland Township. And if you don't mind, should we do them both together?
We're just the only ones on the floor right now.
Oh, sorry about that. So Royal Oak Township. These contracts are being put into place across all of the communities that we serve and do the operation and maintenance for water and sewer systems. So the first one that we're talking about today before you is Royal Oak Township. This is for both the water and sewer. We recently turned ownership back over to the Township of Royal Oak from the county. The county had operation and control of Royal Oak Township for some time. So now the township has taken that control back over, and we put this contract into place to operate their water system and sewer system on a nonprofit basis. So the county's costs and overhead are compensated from the revenue from the system, and that can be adjusted by the rates. These contracts were, drafted and worked on between myself and Keith Lermino with Corporation Counsel. So we're trying to look for uniformity across all of our communities, and for this instance, since Royal Oak Township was operating under a court order, we need to get this contract in place to protect the county and detail the services that we're going to provide for the township. So that's what we have today.
Any questions? So is this model been in place on any of our other communities? Do we have any kind of predictor of whether it's going to work?
This was the first one that the county is signing with this new contract. It's much more comprehensive and includes many protections for the county and does a better job than any contract we've had before with detailing the obligations of both parties. So this will be the first one.
And if it doesn't produce enough revenue to cover the costs of operation, is it up to the township to raise the rates, or?
I believe that we could, the contract provides that the county can adjust the rates, and the township would have to agree to that adjustment in order to cover the costs. So there will be no impact to the county's funds based on these contracts for that reason.
But are they going to do the billing, or are we going to do the billing?
I believe on Royal Oak Township that, do you know,
Yes.
Tim?
Yeah, we do the billing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, we handle all the finances. We collect all the revenues through water and sewer rates. They go into the fund, and then the expenses, of course, offset those revenues. And we keep track of reserves and undesignated retained earnings, and we make sure that there's enough account balance in there to for unforeseen circumstances also.
Okay, thank you. Any question from what I asked? Let's call roll, please.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Boros.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Whitebird.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That passed.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is Water Resources Commissioner Water System Operations and Maintenance Agreement between the County of Oakland and the Charter Township of Oakland. Need a motion, Commissioner Dwyer, supported by Commissioner McGilvray. Good morning again.
Good morning, thank you. So this contract is very similar to the one that you just saw for Royal Oak Township. This one, however, is just for the Oakland Township's water system. We are currently working on a contract for their sewer system. However, at this time, they've authorized the water system to move forward. So we recently, the county had owned portions of Oakland Township's water system, and the township wished to have that back, and the county agreed to turn that back over to them. So this contract is for us to operate and maintain their water system as we were doing before, only now with a contract in place.
Any questions? Is this one different? This one, obviously, Oakland Township didn't come out of court-ordered operation.
Right.
Was there differences between Royal Oak and Oakland?
In the contract language, they're very similar. If there's no material differences for them. If anything, it's the level of service that the community wanted. So they may have more input on certain things that they wanted, but nothing material.
Okay. Any other questions? Let's call the roll, please.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Boros. Jackson.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
Whitebird.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Item number 3 is Water Resources Commissioner request for a not-to-exceed $99,250 loan from the long-term revolving fund for the Oak Knob Drain Rehabilitation Project. Any motion? Commissioner Teets, supported by Commissioner Jackson. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Mike McMahon, Chief Engineer at the Water Resources Commissioner's Office. This is Jeff Wilson, who's one of our staff engineers, who works in the drain maintenance area. And what we have for you today is a request, as you indicated, to get a loan from the long-term revolving fund to fund a project that was done on an emergency basis in Bloomfield Hills. And Jeff will go into some of the details about the project and why we're asking for the loan.
That's correct. Yeah, we had an emergency.
First time here, John?
Yes, it is.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you. We had an emergency situation that a routine inspection had made apparent earlier this year. We had a pipe underneath Lasser Road, about 560 feet of it, that it had some holes in it. It runs, parallel with the center line of the pavement. It had some holes in it, and so we felt that it could not make it another winter. We initiated an emergency project on that, and what we did was we dug up some of the larger holes in the pipe. We dug down and actually replaced those short sections, and then we did what's known as lining the pipe, where we essentially constructed a new pipe within the old pipe. And so the new pipe is fully structural. It's a long-term fix, 50-plus years, and we did that prior to the road commission coming over and paving the top of the road, so we coordinated that with them. And what we're requesting today is to cover the cost of the project. This is a assessment district, a special assessment district where the residents are paying for the project. What we're requesting is a loan to help out the residents to pay this back over 5 years instead of a single-year assessment.
Any questions? Commissioner McGilvray.
We set up the special assessment district, or is that up to the local community to do?
No, we have it set up. It actually dates back to the 1920s when it was originally petitioned, and so we've kind of updated the district over the years. Once even this year, where we had completely restudied it to make sure that everything was correct in there and the correct people were getting billed. But it is fully set up, and we do know everybody's apportionment.
Is it in the city of Bloomfield Hills?
Part of it is in the city of Bloomfield Hills, part of it is in Bloomfield Township. Now, the reason we're only requesting money for the residents of Bloomfield Hills is Bloomfield Township has agreed to pay their residents' portion.
I'm just kind of surprised. I always thought that local communities, cities in particular, set up their own SADs. And I'm not sure why the county's doing that.
Well, this is for an established Chapter 4 drain, which we've come before looking for assessments for these. In fact, I was here a couple of months ago. This is a special project, so we didn't include that in the assessments that we were doing on the Chapter 4 drains. But these are special assessment districts, as Jeff had said, that are assessed directly to the property owners for established county drains under the drain code.
Okay.
Thank you. I saw your memo. I'm glad you see that you coordinated with the paving with the road commission before you coordinated the work, so that you didn't have to dig through the new paving on the project. Is that
Yeah, that's correct. That was important to both the communities, the road commission, and us to make sure that we came together and got everything fixed.
That doesn't, I mean, it drives the citizens crazy when you have new paving and then go out and dig through and put in the drain. So, can you tell me about that lining? How does it, is it an actual liner, or is it?
Yeah, that's correct. Essentially what they do is they go into a manhole and they kind of create a bit of a tower, I guess, over top of it, where they then feed a bag full of water, and it pushes that bag through, and that water actually cures some resin that is in the bag liner, and it essentially uses that, and then it sits there and it cools over a period of several hours, and it actually cures right in place with where the old pipe was. And so what that does is that it essentially creates a brand new pipe out of that bag as it cures.
So he says bag. I like to think of it like a sock. Like you pull the sock inside out into the pipe, and the sock is filled with resin that then cures when it's come in contact with the hot water.
Thank you. So it stretches 560 feet?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah.
And it's got a lifespan of, you think, 50 years?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we believe 50 years is the minimum, actually. We think they might be lasting a lot longer than that.
Wow. Thank you. Any other questions? Let's call the roll.
Dwyer,
Yes.
Berman,
Yes.
Teets, Quarles,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Crawford,
Yes.
McGilvray,
Yes.
Wyper.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is Central Services Aviation Division Airport Land Lease Jet 1 Suites LLC. Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner Berman. Good morning.
Have a nice day. Are we done? No, I'm kidding. My purpose, Mr. Wyberg, is to introduce Cheryl Bush, our new manager of aviation. She takes Carl Randall's spot after his retirement.
Welcome.
Comes from a long line of the industry. She ran a business at the Oakland County International Airport for 20 years. Then went over to Grand Rapids, ran a business there at their airport. Former president, or chairman as it were, of the Michigan Business Aviation Association. So she has a lot of great background, knows the airport, knows the industry. Cheryl Bush. Cheryl's going to be making our presentation.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
And so everybody knows Dave Vanderveen.
I didn't think my name was necessary or important.
For the public.
Goes without saying, right? First item we have on the agenda today is a airport land lease. This is at Oakland County International Airport. This was referred by the airport committee. This lease is with Jet 1 Suites. The principals there are the Costics, which we have had long-term relationships with the Costic group. This is a new development, a corporate hangar, an expansion essentially of their business, and so we're looking to enter into this new land lease.
Any questions? So I've read through the lease, and it's got all the protections that if something has to be torn down after, we can either do it and build them, or would you foresee anything like that ever happening, or?
Not at all, no.
And
This is a long-term lease. It's a definite improvement to the site. It's an enhancement over in the north side of the airport, and it's going to be done very first rate. This is history with this group. They do a really nice job, so we're excited about it. It's definitely an enhancement.
And I know, I mean, 20 years is a long time to give a lease, but we do have protection here. Every 2 years, we can review the
Yes.
rates and give it a current, Oakland County International Airport rates, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Call roll, please.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Quarles.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes.
Whiteford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That passed. We need a motion for direct referral to finance. Moved by Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvery. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Item number 5 is Central Services Aviation Division Airport Land Lease, Mr. Hanger LLC. Need a motion. Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner McGilvery. Good morning again.
Good morning again. This is an additional new development on the airport. Mr. Hanger is a longtime tenant on the airport and is looking for expansion on a new parcel. We had a last-minute change due to the legal description, which we wanted to make sure was 100% accurate, and there was an adjustment to that at the final hour based on the surveyors and the legal review. So we took the time to make sure that that was accurate, very critical to the adjacent parcel next to it. And so now we have an accurate legal description and a new land lease that will enter into effective November 1, and they'll start construction on that project before the snow flies.
And for everybody, we all did receive that ahead of this meeting and as part of the package, so.
Just
Mr.
to add,
Bannerman.
he's putting up about a $7 million building. It's going to be a real credit to the airport.
Wow.
It's Corporate Eagle is the name
Nice.
of the company that is well established there.
Nice. Any questions? So do you see some tick? Is this an indicator, or kind of an economic indicator of things happening?
I think so, definitely. The expansion is really on the larger jet side as opposed to the single-engine, small, individual type operator, but the jet business is definitely in a very good place, and it'll be only restrained by the number of pilots that we're restricted to because there is a shortage of pilots in the industry, but that's not going to affect any of these operations, and they're very well established, and I think it's a great indication of the economy.
Good. Any questions? Let's call the roll.
Teets.
Yes.
Quarles.
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Whiteford.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This one also needs a motion for direct referral. Commissioner Quarles, supported by Commissioner McGilvery. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passed. Item number 6 is Central Services Aviation Division Airport Land Lease Addendum, S&K Airport Properties LLC. I need a motion. Commissioner Crawford, supported by Commissioner Teets. Good morning again.
Good morning. This item is an addendum to an existing lease. This is again the Caustic Group under another entity, the S&K Airport Properties. This land lease addendum essentially adds an adjacent property to the parcel that the S&K recently acquired. The property owner, the current property owner, would remain in the facility for about 3 years, but the new owner, S&K Properties, will be utilizing some of the space behind the building for aircraft parking and storage. And so this land lease addendum will addend the S&K original lease with this adjacent property.
Any questions? Commissioner Quarles.
Thank you. My question is more of clarity.
Sure.
I apologize. I'm not familiar with the Caustic Group. Is this a entity that builds hangars for various companies? And well, I think that could just explain it to me.
Sure. Well, and it gets confusing because the family name is Caustic, but they have several business names, which is not uncommon in our industry. So their business is Royal Air, based on Airport Road, And their entities, these are just holding entities, as I understand it, to hold the property. So S&K is one example of that. And the Jet One Suites is another. This company is a charter company, and they operate aircraft for private individuals in charter as well.
Right, that's Costic or S&K?
Royal Air is the parent company,
Oh, okay.
and the properties are held in these various subsidies.
Thank you.
Mhm.
May I expand on it just a moment? The guy that owns it, Kirk Costin, his dad started it, Bill Costin. They started with a couple of airplanes and began flying air freight. They still do have a large presence in air freight. They've grown to about 40 or 50 jets. And as Cheryl mentioned, they're also doing a lot of charter work. Give you a couple of names they fly around, just you might recognize Ben Affleck when he came in to do the movie here, Superman and Batman. Mike Huckabee as he goes about the country. Charles Barkley, they flew last week. They have a high profile clientele. It's a very successful operations.
Yeah.
It's kind of what we like to see out there. They pay their bills.
Good. Thank you.
There's probably a lot less congestion getting on to, get out on 59 and get out into the southeastern Michigan from that airport than Metro.
Oh, absolutely.
Amen.
Is there an advantage?
That's the big draw,
Mhm.
exactly.
Any other questions? Let's call the roll, please.
Quarles,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Crawford.
Yes.
McGilvray.
Yes.
Dwyer.
Yes.
Berman.
Yes.
Teets.
Yes.
Whiteberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Communications, I don't see any, I need a motion for direct referral. Commissioner McGilvray, supported by Commissioner Quarles. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That passed. Any opposed? That passed. Now communications. Seeing none. Any other business? Seeing no other business, we will call this meeting adjourned.